everyone. So today I'm going to talk about why shyness probably affects you more fundamentally and in more areas of your life than you've allowed yourself to acknowledge. So hi, I'm Fiona Cutts, and I was debilitatingly shy as a child and as a young woman. And I think because it was a word that was thrown around a lot about me, and it can kind of have this, oh, she's shy. It can kind of have that sort of, oh, that's sweet. And, you know, it's like sometimes guys are like, oh, yeah, we like shy girls for whatever reason. It kind of seems sweet. And we don't realize necessarily that it's not just a sweet, endearing characteristic. It's actually something that may be holding us back in different and maybe all areas of our lives. So, I've had a long journey with shyness and a long journey helping other, mainly women, but also some men, but mainly women who struggle with shyness. And my business has evolved over time. And currently, you find me here doing these videos and writing some books. But what I've realized is that shyness truly affected me in pretty much every area of my life. And you may be like this too. So there were some people who could look at me even years ago and think, well, she's not shy, because I would do things like I would go off literally around the world on my own. And so I was kind of able to do that, but I kind of showed up as shy when I was doing it. And so I for sure enjoy traveling way more now than I did I started traveling as a teenager, but I certainly enjoy it way more now than I did as a teenager, 20-something, 30-something. To be honest, I enjoy my life way more now than I did as a teenager, 20-something, 30-something. And in the current culture we're in, that's not supposed to be possible. It's supposed to get worse as you get older. So what I would say is, if you're young and you're watching this, hooray, change your life as soon as you can. Step out of shyness and start to step into confidence, enjoyment and all the magic as soon as you can. But if you're older and watching this, don't worry. You have whatever the rest of your life is ahead of you. Why not take the steps today, now, to change what you can change and become more empowered? So yes, when I look back, so my sort of brief story of why I think I became shy is that my dad could be very unkind verbally. And the message that I got from him consistently was, you'll never amount to anything. You're not good enough. Oh, you tried to do that, but you know, there were some things I was good at. I was academic, but somehow I never did quite well enough. I wasn't at the time good at sport. My brother was good at sport. And so it was kind of like, oh, you know, you're really pathetic, Fiona, at this, that, and the other. And I internalized it all. And I learned that the best thing to do in terms of my family, and particularly my dad, was to shut up, stay quiet, and stay below the radar. And that was a good strategy when I was 5, 10, 15, even when I was 20 and 25 and going home to visit my dad. That was a good strategy. But the problem is that it's not just a strategy that we develop in childhood, it becomes a way of being. So yeah, I adopted, without even realizing, that shy girl way of being, where I often stayed quiet. I stayed below the radar. I didn't stand up for what I wanted. I didn't speak up for what I wanted. And that affected all areas of my life. So, and then when you think about it, if you recognize yourself here, that you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's kind of like I was living on my dad's agenda. So I actually became an accountant, and he basically he made good, let's put it like that. So he had come from a poor background, but he was comparatively clever, and he decided to become an accountant. And then actually, he didn't become an accountant. He didn't pass the final exams. He was too busy playing tennis and having a good time. But he went into a bank, and he worked hard and he did well for himself, and he basically wanted the same for me and my brother. And he told us that the career paths were accountant, lawyer, or doctor. So I wasn't at all clever enough to be a doctor. I didn't have the type of brain for being a doctor. Lawyer I wasn't interested in, but accountant, somehow it's like I'm quite good at numbers and all of that stuff, but somehow it was clear to me that accountancy could open up some of the other things I liked, like traveling and speaking different languages. So I chose it partly for that reason, but mainly because it was what my dad wanted. And unsurprisingly, I did not thrive, because when you're not living the life that you desire, you won't thrive. So that shyness, it's like it manifests in so many ways. When we're shy, we tend to have an inability to think for ourselves. So it's like I was overly influenced by what my dad thought. I was overly influenced by what my mum thought. I was overly influenced by my suburban upbringing. So, and as you listen to this, just check in with yourself. What are you being influenced by that has nothing to do with you and what you would like your life to be? And honestly, when I was like 16, 18, 21, even when I was 31 or probably 41, and I was looking at what I wanted to do with my life in terms of a career, I had no idea. I had no idea what was true for me. I mean, for me, it took actually 2 complete breakdowns to really have the guts to look at what was true for me, look at what I wanted in my life. And that led to me becoming an energy healer, and then in time an intuitive life coach, and then in more time a writer. I love writing now. I never did when I was younger. I was always good at it, but I never enjoyed it. Now I found a way of writing and expressing myself where I'm like, oh, that's me. It's not always grammatical. It sometimes includes the F word and other naughty words. And it's like, no, this is me. This is what I desire to bring into the world. So, yeah, and just tune in with you and just see, do you feel that you have any sense of what's true for you? Or are you going along on somebody else's path maybe without even realizing that you're on someone else's path? And one of the ways that I like to talk about shyness is that it's also about sensitivity, and often the empathy which goes with being sensitive. So I find that even if I have a 5-minute conversation with somebody, I tend to jump right into their world, and I see the situation, or I see what they're talking about from their perspective. And I kind of almost abandon myself to jump into their world and kind of, completely see things from their perspective, whilst forgetting what's actually true for me. And when the conversation is over, I don't even necessarily leave their world. It's like I can, if I'm not careful about it, if I'm not aware of it, I can stay in their world and I can live my life from other people's perspective. And just get a sense if that's true for you. And what I realized, until I started to consciously look at what was actually true for me, what I would actually be doing, not just in my career life, but in my everything life. It's like I wasn't set out to be an accountant. I didn't match the charity world that well. And actually, I then decided that I'd go into the charity world, and I became an accountant in the Red Cross. I didn't actually match that world that well either, because that world, in a way, I mean, somebody else said this to me, but when they said it, I was like, oh, that's true. In a way, a big charity or a big organization, aid organization like the Red Cross, is in many ways like a corporate charity. I say they have to be. I mean, I don't actually believe that. It's like, I believe that we can have kinder institutions. But I wasn't cut out to be in those kind of cutthroat situations. It's not how I would like my world to be. It's not like how I'd like the planet to be. But I overrode myself to be in that world because I was told it was the way I should live. So I'm going to give you a little bit of home play, And let's keep it about our lives in general rather than about our careers or how we make money. And I'm just going to, actually, before we go into that, I'm going to say a little bit more about me. So, and with a view to seeing if it's true for you. It's like, as I share my story, I invite you to see what's true for you and what you can learn from my awareness and what I've learned about me. Because likely thing is, if you identify as shy, that there are some areas where you kind of mirror me and other areas where you're like, oh, I can see why Fiona did that, but actually it's a little bit different for me. So don't think that just every shy girl, every shy lady, every shy woman is the same. Not at all. But there is enough that's going to be similar that it's likely that my journey and my kind of hard-won awarenesses will be helpful to you. So yes, it wasn't just in my career that I didn't know who I was or what I wanted. I had no idea really what the fun things were for me in life. And I've discovered, so yeah, I was always academic, I was always good at writing, but I really did not enjoy writing. I would make myself write for the degrees that I did. I did multiple degrees. So I'd make myself write for the academic degrees I did. I'd make myself write for the accountancy qualification, where it turned out that we needed to be able to write too. Often throughout my life, people would ask me to draft important letters for them, but I hated it. And then a kind of magic started to happen, and I'm going to say maybe 10 years ago, I joined Facebook. Woohoo! And I was really shy, of course, about writing on Facebook at first. But I started to write on Facebook. I started to share some of my experiences, and I started to use it for the businesses I was creating. But the big shift came for me in terms of writing when I became an accidental traveler when COVID started, and I found myself I didn't have a fixed home, and I was moving with my suitcase from location to location, and sometimes not super quickly. I mean, when COVID started, I actually ended up staying somewhere for 5 months. I thought I was going for 5 days, but I stayed for 5 months. But then after that, I started to create this kind of life where sometimes I was moving day by day and sometimes month by month. And I'd have all these crazy adventures, and I started to share them on Facebook. And after a while, I started to kind of enjoy the way that I was writing and how people responded. And I started to write in a way that I knew would entertain and pull people in. And people started looking forward to my posts. And then someone said, hey, you could write a book. I was like, oh. And yeah, now I've written two of these Shy Girl series books, but also 2 travel books, which I'll also reference in the comment section below in case you're interested in reading some crazy travel adventures that took place in Montenegro and in Albania. So yeah, I didn't know that I loved to write, because basically I was trying to make myself write in the way that my teachers told me I should write. And when I discovered the way that I liked to write for me, it opened everything up. And so there are various other things that I just did not know that I enjoyed. So singing, dancing, moving my body, just kind of, it's like I didn't dare move my body. I was kind of locked in place as a shy girl. So I discovered that I love to sing, I love to dance. I actually quite, well, it's funny that I hesitate to say this because I haven't had much chance to perform recently. There was a time where I was teaching, and not that teaching is a performance, but I was traveling around Europe teaching self-development classes, and one of them was about the stage and being on the stage, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I realized that's something that I want to pursue. I'd like to improve my singing and maybe be on stage on my own. There we are. I've said it out loud. This sometimes still shy girl. So just to say that when I first started releasing the shyness, I would hate it if someone pointed out to me that there were areas of my life where I was still shy. And then I realized that I needed to let go of that judgment. So I'm just going to say here, in one of the first videos I'm putting on this channel, I'm not immune to sometimes going to shyness. I can sometimes have what I call shyness attacks, but I don't make them wrong anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, there I go again. That's a kind of remnant from the past. And when you don't judge it, you're way more likely to move through it. So yeah, I had a kind of slight hesitation to tell you that actually I'd love to be on stage singing or dancing or performing. Now I'm over that little mini shyness attack. I've told you more of what I'd like. So I invite you to really tune in to what is true for you, what you may like to do in your spare time, what you may like to do with your life that you've never, ever, ever even considered. I used to hate dancing. I used to be so shy. I used to hope that I wouldn't be invited to dance. I used to stay away from the dance floor. And I healed it through doing a 3-year-long energy healing course. And I realise I say that you're probably going to go, oh no, I need to do a 3-year-long course and do all this stuff. No, not at all. You don't need to do anything like that if you want to heal your shyness or heal aspects of your shyness, or if you want to find out what's true for you in your life. You for sure don't have to do that long intensive. You can, what I suggest you do is just be open to I was going to be open to everything. It's like if you're on a path to finding out what's true for you, what you like in your life, then it may be that you're sitting in a cafe and you hear somebody on the next table talking about something, maybe talking about a book that would open up things for you too. And you're like, okay, I'm going to just write that down whilst I hear her talking about it. Or it may be that you go for a walk. It's like I often get inspiration when I'm walking. You may go for a walk and you just get this sudden I'm going to say download, but I mean, what do I mean by download? You suddenly find yourself thinking about something. Maybe you remember something from when you were a child, something you liked doing as a child that you haven't done for ages. So what I'm saying is the information can come in all kinds of ways once you open up to it. So that's my invitation to you. See what information you can receive about what you actually enjoy doing in your life. So it's been great to be with you for this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing it now. It helps more shy girls, more shy women find out about this. And it also means that, that you get to see these videos every week and you don't forget about them. Okay, fantastic. I will see you next time. Bye bye.